Hello, my name is Shinka. Welcome to my channel. We're reading and discussing The Warriors Into the Wild by Erin Hunter. We're on chapter 5. Just started. Last video was a little bit short. I apologize. This one will be a little bit longer. So we just left off at Firepaw and Greypaw going to their training with Lionheart and Tiger Claw. Without another word, Tiger Claw leaped up and bounded out of the sandy hollow. Lionheart nodded to Greypaw, and they took off with equal speed. Firepaw scrambled after them, his paws slipping on the soft sand. The trees were thick in this part of the forest, birch and ash trees overshadowed by mighty oaks. The ground was carpeted with crisp, dead leaves that rustled beneath their paws. Tiger Claw paused to spray his scent on a thick clump of ferns. The other cat stopped beside him. "There is a two-leg path here," murmured Lionheart. "Use your nose, Firepaw. Can you smell anything?" Firepaw sniffed. There was a faint scent of a two-leg and the stronger smell of a dog, familiar to him from his old home. "A two-leg has walked his dog along here, but they're gone now," he meowed. "Good," meowed Lionheart. "Do you think it's safe to cross?" Firepaw sniffed again. The odors were weak and seemed overlaid with fresher forest smells. "Yes," he replied. Tiger Claw nodded, and the four cats stalked out from beneath the ferns and crossed the sharp stones of the narrow two-leg path. The trees beyond were pine. They grew tall and straight, row after row. It was easy to walk silently here. The ground was thick with layers of dead needles, which pricked against Firepaw's pads but felt spongy underneath. There was no undergrowth here to hide in, and Firepaw sensed tension in the other cats as they stalked unprotected between tree after tree. "Two legs put those trees here," meowed Tiger Claw. "They cut them down with foul-smelling creatures which spew enough fumes to make a kit go blind. Then they take the fallen trees to the tree-cut place that lies near here." Firepaw stopped and listened for the roar of the tree-eater, which he had heard before. "The tree-cut place will be silent for a few moons more until the time of Greenleaf," explained Greypaw, noticing his pause. The cats padded on through the pine forest. "Two-leg place lies in that direction," meowed Tiger Claw, flicking his thick tail to one side. "No doubt you can smell it, Firepaw. Today, however, we will head the other way." Eventually they reached another two-leg path that marked the far edge of the pine forest. They quickly crossed over into the safe bushes of the oak woods beyond, but Firepaw still sensed anxiety in the other cats. "We're approaching RiverClan territory," whispered Greypaw. "The Sunning Rocks are over there." He pointed with his soft muzzle to a treeless mound of boulders. Firepaw felt his fur stand on end. This was where Redtail had been slain. Lionheart stopped by a flat gray rock. "This is the boundary between ThunderClan and RiverClan territory. RiverClan rules the hunting grounds beside the Great River," he meowed. "Breathe deeply, Firepaw." The pungent smell of unfamiliar cats hit the roof of Firepaw's mouth. He was surprised how different it smelled from the warm cat scents of ThunderClan camp. He was also surprised to realize just how familiar and comforting ThunderClan's scents seemed to him already. "That is the smell of RiverClan," Tiger Claw growled beside him. "Remember it well. It will be strongest at the boundary, because the warriors will have scent marked the trees along here." With these words, the dark tabby lifted his tail and sprayed his own mark on the flat rock. "We'll follow this boundary line as it leads straight to Four Trees," Lionheart meowed. He settled quickly away from Sunning Rocks, followed by Tiger Claw. Greypaw and Firepaw trotted after them. "What is Four Trees?" Firepaw panted. "It is where the territories of all four clans meet," replied Greypaw. "There are 4 great oaks there, as old as the clans." "Be quiet," ordered Tiger Claw. "Don't forget how close we are to enemy territory." The two apprentices fell silent. Firepaw concentrated on walking silently. They crossed a shallow stream, keeping their paws dry by leaping from boulder to boulder across the pebbly riverbed. By the time they reached 4 trees, Firepaw was feeling completely out of breath. His paws ached. He wasn't used to traveling so far and fast. He was quite relieved when Lionheart and Tigerclaw led them out of the thick woods and stopped at the brow of a bush-covered slope. It was sun-high now. The clouds had cleared, the wind had dropped. Below in the dazzling sunlight stood 4 enormous oaks, their dark green crowns reaching almost the top of the steep slope. As Grandpa told you, meowed Lionheart to Firepaw, this is 4 trees, where the territories of all 4 clans meet. Wind Clan governs the high ground ahead of us, where the sun sets. You won't be able to catch their scent today. The wind is blowing towards them, but you will learn it soon enough. And Shadow Clan holds power over there in the darkest part of the forest, added Greypaw, flicking his head sideways. The elders say that the cold winds from the north blow over the Shadow Clan cats and chill their hearts. So many clans! Firepaw exclaimed, and was so organized, he added to himself, remembering Smudge's lurid tales of wildcats wrecking terror in the forest. You see now why prey is so precious, meowed Lionheart, why we must fight to protect what little we have. But that seems foolish. Why can't the clans work together and share their hunting grounds instead of fighting each other? Firepaw suggested boldly. A shocked silence greeted his words. Tigerclaw was the first to reply. That is treacherous thinking, Kitty Pet. He snapped. Don't be too fierce, Tigerclaw, warned Lionheart. The ways of the clans are new to this apprentice. He looked at Firepaw. You speak from your heart, young Firepaw. This will make you a stronger warrior one day. Lionheart glanced briefly at Tigerclaw before he continued. The 4 clans do come together peacefully in a gathering each moon. Here, he bent his head towards the 4 mighty oaks below, is where they meet. The truce lasts for as long as the moon is at its fullest. Then there must be a meeting very soon, Firepaw suggested, remembering how bright the moonlight had been the night before. Indeed there is, answered Lionheart, sounding impressed. Tonight, in fact. The gatherings are very important because they allow the clans to come together in peace for one night. But you must understand that longer alliances bring more trouble than they're worth. It is our clan loyalty that makes us strong. Tigerclaw meowed in agreement. If you weaken that loyalty, you weaken our chance of survival. Firepaw nodded. I understand, he mewed. Come, meowed Lionheart, standing up. Let's keep moving. They paced along the ridge of the valley where 4 trees stood. Now they were heading away from the sun as it began to sink in the afternoon sky. They crossed the stream at the place where it was narrow enough to leap over in one jump. Firepaw sniffed the air. A new cat scent touched his mouth. Glands, strong, sour. Which clan is that? He asked. Shadow Clan, answered Tigerclaw grimly. We are traveling along their border. Keep your wits about you, Firepaw. Pressure scents mean that a Shadow Clan patrol is in the area. As Firepaw nodded, he heard a new noise. He stiffened, but the other cats kept up their pace, heading straight for the ominous rumbling. What's that? He called, trying to catch up with them. You'll see in a moment, replied Lionheart. Firepaw peered through the trees ahead. They seemed to be getting thinner, letting in a broad band of sunlight. Are we at the edge of the woods? He asked. Then he stopped, took a deep breath. The green forest scents were overlaid with other strange dark smells. This time, it was not a cat scent, but an odor that reminded him of his 2 legs home. And the rumbling was getting louder. A ceaseless roar that made the ground tremble and ache in Firepaw's ears. This is the Thunder Path, meowed Tigerclaw. Firepaw followed as Lionheart led them towards the edge of the forest. Then he sat down and all four cats looked out. Graypaw could see a great path like a river, cutting its way through the forest. The hard gray stone stretched ahead of him so far that the trees on the other side seemed blurred and tiny. Firepaw shuddered at the bitter smell that rose from the path. The next moment, he leaped back, his fur bristling as a gigantic monster roared past. The branches of the trees on either side flapped madly in the wind that chased the speeding monster. Firepaw stared around at the other cats, his eyes wide, unable to speak. He had seen paths like this before near his old two-leg home, but never this wide, nor with monsters so swift and fierce. "Scared me too the first time," remarked Graypaw, "but at least it helps to keep Shadow Clan warriors from crossing into our territory. The Thunder Path runs for many paw steps along our boundary line. Don't worry, those monsters never seem to leave the Thunder Path. You'll be fine as long as you don't go too near." "It's time we return to camp," meowed Lionheart. "You have seen all our boundaries now, but we'll avoid snake rocks. Even though the way around is longer, an untrained apprentice would be easy prey for an adder. And I expect you are getting tired, Firepaw." Firepaw couldn't help feeling relieved at the thought of returning to the camp. His head was spinning with all of the new smells and sights. Lionheart was right. He was tired, hungry. He fell in behind Graypaw as the cats turned away from the Thunder Path and headed back into the forest. The dewy scents of evening filled the air as Firepaw made his way through the gorse entrance into the ThunderClan camp. Fresh kill was waiting for them. Firepaw and Graypaw took their share from the pile that lay in the shady part of the clearing and carried it to the tree stump outside their quarters. Dustpaw and Sandpaw were already there, munching hungrily. "Hi there, kitty pet," meowed Dustpaw, narrowing his eyes scornfully at Firepaw. "Enjoy the food we caught for you?" "Who knows? You might even learn to catch your own one day," sneered Sandpaw. "Are you two still on hunting duty?" asked Graypaw innocently. "Never mind. We've been patrolling our territory borders. You'll be glad to know all is safe." "I'm sure the other clans were terrified when they smelled you two coming," yelled Dustpaw. "They didn't even dare show their faces," retorted Graypaw, unable to hide his anger. "Well, we'll ask them tonight when we see them at the clan gathering," mewed Sandpaw. "Are you going?" Firepaw blurted out, impressed in spite of the apprentice's hostility. "Of course," replied Dustpaw loftily. "It's a great honor, you know, but don't worry, we'll tell you all about it in the morning." Graypaw ignored Dustpaw's gloating and started eating his fresh kill. Firepaw was hungry too and crouched down to eat. He couldn't help feeling a twinge of envy that Dustpaw and Sandpaw were actually going to meet the other clans tonight. A loud call from Bluestar made Firepaw look up. He watched several of the clan warriors and elders gather in the clearing. It was time for the clan party to leave for the gathering. Dustpaw and Sandpaw leaped to their feet, trotted off to join the other cats. "Bye, you two," called Sandpaw over her shoulder. "Have a nice, quiet evening." The assembled cats stalked out of the camp entrance in a single file, Bluestar at head. Her fur glowed like silver in the moonlight. She looked calm and confident as she led her clan to the brief truce between old enemies. "Have you ever been to a gathering?" Firepaw asked Graypaw wistfully. "Not yet," replied Graypaw, crunching loudly on a mouse. "But it won't be long now. Just you wait. All the apprentices get to go at some point." The two apprentices ate the rest of their meal in silence. When they had finished, Graypaw wandered over to Firepaw, began to groom his head. Together they washed, sharing tongues, as Firepaw had seen the other cats do when he first arrived. Then, tired after the long trek, they pushed their way into their den and settled down in their nests, quickly fell asleep. We'll end it there. A lot of information just came. So if you couldn't gather, the Thunder Path is a road like a highway, in this case, a highway of cars. And at moon is a month. They tell the time by the sun, the position of the sun and the moon in the sky. And if you notice the detail, the clan truce lasts as long as there's a full moon. Wonder what happens during times that a cloud might cover a moon or it's storming. What do you guys think happens during those times? Anyway, we will finish the end of chapter 5 and start 6 tomorrow. I hope you're having a good day.